Right, yes, it's my combo van, and I have a van because of the 432s. I used to have a Cavalier, I think was the last car I had. I remember putting tank batteries, 432 batteries in there, lorry batteries in the back of the Cavalier, lifting into the boot, with this Toolbox, thinking, this is no good. A, it's hard work lifting it in and out, and I need a van. So I did have another van before this one, another blue combo van, the old cheap one. Then I bought this one when that one died, and it's been a brilliant little van. And I've done about 100,000 miles in it now, and it's great. I like it. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's my van. So, what I thought I'd show you today is tools. Obviously my 432s live a long way away from where I do, and a long way away, but they live far away enough. So I can't load up my van depending on what I'm going to try and accomplish when I'm down here. But generally, there's my toolbox. It's not just for 432s. My toolbox is set out because this one used to be where I work now. They supply the tools. It lives at home. My ambition was to have my toolbox at home. I'd set my top box so that I used to do a lot of breakdowns and just pick the top box off, chuck it in the back of a van, and you go on a breakdown, or you're on call that week, or whatever. And so it's sort of set out that way, and which helps for working down here. So I've got most jobs. I can do most jobs, but say I do, depending on what job it is, I would have to plan ahead and work out what I'm going to bring down and what I'm not going to bring down. You can see it there, there's like a fleece, because it's freezing. It was cold down here today. And what other bits and bobs I'm going to need. But generally I'm pretty empty down there. There's coats, there's a rucksack there from bits from Stoneleigh I went to the other day. There's only some gun mounting brackets. I saw them there, they were £10, I bought them. There's my old steering driver's seatbelt I change of the week, coat, a couple of funnels, my little sandwich box, a box of bits I might mess about with on the 432 in a bit. But anyway, tools, that's what we're on about. Basically the toolbox. I like these type toolboxes. Cantilever boxes, horrible things, but they can be quite heavy, but it's only because I needed it for work. Excuse the right on that, as me and Ollie messed about making stencils, and got a stencil maker, and we're making stencils of our signs on PlayStation 4 now. But anyway, that's another story. Right, top box. Tools. In the top, I keep generally all my sockets, even though you can see some spanners there. Generally sockets, and even though I've worked on trucks for 30 years, scary, isn't it? I've mostly used the 3/8 drive, and there's a lot of my kit is snap-on, I say, because it's the job, unfortunately. Rails are sockets. This one, even though I've got two missing, should go from 8 to 19 mil. That's metric. There's another set. These are impact ones. They go from 8 to 24 with a wobbly joint. I wouldn't tend to use those here. Those would be more for at work. And a little there again. Got extensions. I have got the odd bit of half-inch drive, the next size up. There's half-inch drive. There's an half-inch drive ratchet and bar. A half-inch ratchet. There's a shorter one there. All bars, and there is a couple of sockets kicking around. Can't get to that one. There's Allen key socket, half-inch drive, but generally Allen key sockets there. Those are Imperial ones. Bits and bobs really. There's some Torx bits and bits and bobs. Won't ever use those on a 432, so don't worry about those. I got a couple of little sets of spanners. These ones are just little Stanley ones. Go from 6mm to 17mm. There's me metric Allen key sockets. And I've got a couple of sets of, I think this one should be, even though there's one missing. No, they're imperial, metric. So those must be imperial. There's my imperial Stanley ones, little short stubby ones. And we get into bits and bobs. There's a breaker bar down the back there. You can see that goes all the way along the back. So I was on about using on the level bungs. Okay, so basically I keep the heavy stuff because the drawers don't tend to be able to take a lot of the heavy stuff on the top. That box, there is a quarter drive set, but I'll go into another one in a minute. I have socket spanners, a couple of Halfords ratchet spanners. Halford Professional, ever so good spanners, brilliant. Don't use them so much, that one, ever so handy. That's a 13mm. There's a 9/16, and you can see a 11/16 next to it, snap on ones. And there's other, there's my other sockets. Went off that rail. Right, anyway, so those are spanners. There's little power adjustables. Yeah, we'll go through it now. There's, I said, when I was doing the bung, that Allen key was 5/8 16mm, and I am looking for 16mm. Must have a 16mm in here somewhere. Size that's quite common. There's a very short little 9/16. Is that missing on that one, is it? Took quite a minute. I can't find a 16mm spanner. No, there isn't one in my these sets. I don't think mine goes up to 14. Right. Another set of spanners I carry around with. These ones, snap-on ones from work. Well, what I've had to do from work. 16mm. That's what I wanted. Because we were doing my level bungs, I used this Allen key, basic straightforward Allen key. You see, that is 16mm and 5/8. So what's the difference then? 16mm metric. They do 16mm across the flats. I ain't got a bolt handy, have I? Typical. Yes, I have. Some random bolt I found. Stood up here. That'll be either 13mm. That is actually 13mm across the head of the bolt. Okay. The other size that would fit that, which, there we go. The other equivalent is 1/2 inch. Okay, again, that's the distance, half of an inch across the flats. The reason we have two is that, so look at this bolt. Looking at it, I would say that's a UNF bolt. Well, no, maybe a metric. A bit rusty, I can't really tell. But 1/2 inch across the flats, 8mm across there, 13mm. But the actual thickness of the thread is 8mm or 5/16. UNF, a 1/2 inch AF proper bolt would be a 5/16 UNF. Means those are quite a fine thread along there. Whereas the M8, it's an M8 bolt, but it would be 13mm across the top there. Anyway, that's enough about bolts there. But that's why we have metric and imperial. You'll find that like 7/16 there is a loose 11mm. They're all they do crossover. 13mm is a 1/2 inch, 14mm is a tight 9/16. The ones you probably use the most are 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16 for 432. You'd use those a lot. Plus, you get into the bigger sizes, but you can get the equivalents are say 11mm, 13mm, 14mm. Sometimes the 14mm is just a little bit too tight. 5/8 and 16mm, and then 16ths and 17mm, 3/4 and 19mm are generally the common ones. This one, what have we got in here? We got a little gas soldering iron. Me and soldering never have got on. Electrical test light, a couple more sockets, a pair of scissors, some feeler gauges, a hole cutter, spare battery for me multimeter, and a wipey thing there. So we got pipe cutters, more Allen keys, scraper, some more insulation tape, magnet thing, telescopic magnet, another batteries, and marker pen, razor blade type scraper, Stanley knife, some other bits and bobs, and drills in there as well. Alright, the next one, try to keep all my screwdrivers together. Got some little Halford ones there, they're just Halford ones, ever so good ones, ever so good. Like to keep them in a little tray so you know that they're there. A couple of interchangeable ratchet screwdrivers with some screwdriver bits in there. Some electrical screwdrivers. Another one there. And I can see that the sun's gone in and it's gone all really dark. Some more spanners, some ring spanners, some adjustable, some long nose pliers, and just generally pliers, side cutters, a little pair of mulgets, some more drill bits, another Stanley knife type thing, some grippy type, and some big wire cutters there, some wire terminal crimpers, circlip pliers in there, and that's back in there. Bottom drawer, hammer, hacksaw, files, Stilsons, other hammers, wire brush, big adjustables, big pair of grips, lever bars, chisels, punches, and it's hailstoning. And I got two 432s out. So briefly then, we got use this one quite a lot. Is a little set of Allen keys. Not Allen keys, quarter drive set. And sockets. Use those an awful lot. I have a multimeter, some files, and a couple of sets of Allen keys. Anyway, I've got to go. First day I've actually got 10A15 out, and look at it, it's chucking it down. And I bet it won't start now either. Right, I'm going to go. Right, I'm back. I haven't got them in yet. It's sort of light rain now. The other thing I wanted to show, apart from an empty bucket, is this that wet all the way back there. Talking about the threads and bolt sizes, I've had a bit of kit, used it a lot. There's a thread chaser set for repairing threads, cleaning threads out. If you have damaged nut or damaged bolt, imagine that was the bolt there, you get the corresponding one and you wind that down. They got cutting type edges on them, and you see them on there, and now repair the threads as they go down, a bit like a tap and die set, but these are for actually restoring threads, repairing threads, recutting them, cleaning them up. As you can see, I've used the 5/16 UNF a lot and the quarter UNF a lot, M10 and M8 a lot. Those are quite a lot, and M12 there's more from work, but from the 432s. Got the silver ones are UNC coarse thread, The black ones are UNF, which you see a lot of. You do see the odd UNC, I can't think where though on a 432, but I think there is some. Majority is UNF, and metric does creep in, so beware of that. But brilliant bit of kit. These are thread files. You got a real big thread that you just want to clean up. It's been knocked by something, dented by something. You just use these as a file and clean up the threads. Brilliant bit of kit. Not that expensive now, even though that was Snap-on, like £50. It's expensive, but unfortunately in a trade you've got to spend that sort of money. Anyway, then there's a couple of them. I got the Allen key from the 432, my quarter drive set that we were briefly looking at. Use that one a lot for doing the radio stuff. So we got their files. I didn't know what I did. Did I look at the multimeter? Did a multimeter there that just to see if I got me 28 volts everywhere. There we go. Valuable, a torch. Always gotta have a torch. This is part of a 432 Cesta kit. Whole drain bung, oil sump drain bung thing. Because I was coming down to do the levels, another 432 one, but it was more like a 90mm that one. Don't know what that would fit. Haven't come across that yet. Apart from that, I'd also carry. I got another box that's got like emery cloth in it, but I haven't brought it with me. I forgot that. It's got emery cloth in it and more nuts and bolts and bits and bobs. I've got some other trays with nuts and bolts and bits and bobs, and I carry again depending on what job I'm doing. But fundamentally, that's the toolbox. You don't need a lot to get by, but that's what I come down here with. I thought you just might be interested. Okay then, right, I'm going to go and I haven't had 10EA15 out for a while, and it's actually outside, so I'm going to have a look at that in a second.